Chapter 5. Elm. Lina leans against the wall, waiting. Fully armored, she looks ready for battle, but her expression tells Fritz that's not the plan for this morning. Lina smiles wide and bright as Fritz approaches her from the other end of the long corridor. "Morning, Sleepy," Lina greets warmly, adjusting how her sword sits on her belt. "I trust everything was to your liking?" Fritz's night was pleasant. He's never stayed in such comfortable surroundings before. Elm's facility's like a paradise compared to his family home. Not once did the power go out, a very unusual occurrence in wartime Vastin. Access to a wide range of drinks and sweet treats was also a highlight. Javi cake is a personal favorite for Fritz. It reminds him of his grandmother and the lush green fields past the mountains that surround the capital. "Uh-huh," Fritz replies as he stands uneasy in front of the impressive warrior who saved him the night before. Lina wipes her nose and wrinkles her face for a moment. "So, she says reluctantly, you might see some things today that are..." She stops, puts a single paw on the hilt of her sword and steadies her breathing. "Things that might turn your stomach." Lina refocuses her gaze on the young Grimalkin in front of her. "You're going to have questions, I'm sure," she adds. "But if you do as you're told, you'll soon have your reward." Lina reaches out and softly puts a paw on his shoulder. Fritz can't work out if she's being caring or demanding of him. Having grown up as a male in his household, he's used to everyone around him treating him like dirt. Either way, he's happy that Lina is treating him with some respect. "Sure," Fritz agrees, nodding his head. "I'm ready to help. I've been practicing my portals in my room like you asked." Lina's smile grows wider. "How many can you make per second?" 3 sets of twins," he replies, raising a single paw to his chest. "Look." Exposing his claws, Fritz draws a perfectly round portal in the blink of an eye. A small but vibrant portal hangs in the space between them, with the twin hanging quietly in the air just behind Lina's right shoulder. Lina recoils, taking her paw from Fritz's shoulder as she instinctually backs away. To her shock and amazement, she didn't even sense the twin of the portal opening beside her. A snap expression of fear escapes from Lina's face, showing Fritz that his power is still something that is feared by even the hardest of Grimalkin souls. However, Lina begins to chuckle, putting him at ease. Impressed at just how easily he was able to produce that portal without a sword like other Grimalkins, Lina immediately understands why the doctor requires his services. She'd already judged him as weak and pathetic, but this changes her expression of him. Having struggled as a kitten with creating portals, it throws everything Lina's ever been told about male Grimalkins into question. Is it even possible for a male to create portals? Are they as inferior as the schoolbooks would have everyone believe? Curious to see more, Lina gives Fritz a coy expression. "Okay, now show me another." Pleased that he's being encouraged and not scolded for his actions, Fritz bares his claws once again and effortlessly draws a perfectly round portal in the air to his side. Excited, he waits for Lina's reaction. A normal Grimalkin female can only open 1 set of twins at a time. Being able to hold open 2 sets is strange enough, but she knows the rumors of Fritz's abilities. She recalls reading a report of a single Grimalkin opening 12 sets in a fit of rage. "Very good," she claps, checking to her side for its twin, only to be confused of its whereabouts. "Where's the twin?" Lina questions, having been put on edge by the sudden appearance of the first. Very excited and proud for the first time, Fritz bounces on his hind legs. "It's above you," he answers with a wide grin. Slowly looking up, Lina gasps. Playfully, Fritz puts his face to the second portal created, and pulls a silly face. Looking above her, Lina's greeted by the sight of Fritz looking down at her from above. His portals are perfect. No imperfections or destabilization usually found when a Grimalkin attempts to hold open multiple at once. Impressive. Lina reaches up to the portal above her. How is that even possible? Without a sword, too. I see now why you're important. Its attacks are... Lina halts her train of thought and stops talking, knowing she's potentially sharing too much. Clearing her throat, she looks down at the boy and gives him a soft smile. I've never seen such mastery, she explains, shifting her weight to another foot. She wonders how. Have you been enhanced by a Formador? Enhanced? Yes. Fritz furrows his brow. I don't know what you mean by enhanced, but I've never met a Formador, so... Really? Oh, pretty sure, Fritz replies, showing Lina his body. I wouldn't still be a boy if I had. Lina raises an eyebrow. Maybe you're lying and you're actually a Formador yourself. She leans forward to stare suspiciously into his eyes. Maybe that's why I found you on the outskirts of Aston. You're on the run for using your abilities on yourself, aren't you? Fritz looks away from her intense glare and sighs. Every time he shows someone his abilities, it always turns to distrust. As he lowers his paws, the two portals snap from existence. No, I'm not, he replies sourly. You're not listening. If I was a Formador, I certainly still wouldn't be a boy. Lina rustles her whiskers. Good point. Bringing herself back to the job at hand, Lina looks down the corridor behind her. At the end of the walkway are two large and very solid-looking metal doors. They are so large, it looks like it would take legions to move them. It's like whatever is behind them, Elm doesn't want it to escape or let anyone inside. See those heavy metal doors? Lina points over her shoulder. Behind it is where the doctor keeps the Remnant. It's the Sealy extraction chamber. Fritz looks around her, and for some reason, he gets goosebumps all over. Almost like he's remembering a deep, dark nightmare that he's tried desperately to forget. All Grimalkins are taught to listen to their instincts, and right now, they are blaring danger. The Remnant? He asks, scared to do so. It's an alien artifact. Lina's tone shifts to be more serious and businesslike. It's the basis of all our current technologies. Sealy energy is a direct result. The doctor hopes he can harness its power and put an end to our energy needs. Right now, it fights us. We're working on making it compliant to our needs. Fritz shivers as a chill goes down his spine. Instincts are telling him to leave and never come back. So much so that his claws are still exposed for a quick getaway. Don't look so worried, my little kitten, Lina laughs, nudging him playfully on the side. With your help, we are going to tame it for the betterment of all Grimalkin kind. Think about it. We could end this war that blights our people with shame. We could? Yes! Me. Really? Fritz asks, feeling extremely out of his depth. Fritz begins to shiver with anxiety. Lina notices, and she doesn't want to scare him away. Their ability to get close and experiment on the Remnant rests on Fritz's ability to neutralize its defenses. Concerned she might be putting too much pressure on the young boy, she puts a comforting paw onto his shoulder once again. Their eyes meet, and she can tell this is becoming all too real. However, his weakness and fortitude can't hinder the doctor's progress. The correct motivation for Fritz must be administered to ensure he complies. Come, Lina says softly, ushering Fritz further up the corridor. Just before the two large metal doors is a side room. Lina shows the reluctant Fritz inside. Following her, She leads him into a control room of sorts. The room has a large, reinforced glass window along the entirety of one wall, and the rest of the room is filled to the brim with equipment. Standing in the room alone, at the large window, is Doctor Elm. He greets both Lina and Fritz with a warm smile. However, it's not what Fritz's gaze is drawn to. Beyond the large window in the room is a massive void. It's dark, very large and spherical. Brilliant arcs of rainbow-colored lightning constantly strike the thick spherical walls. It's a containment facility. Of that, Fritz is sure. Ah. Elm steps away from his monitoring console. Fritz, my boy, welcome. Fritz is speechless as he walks further into the room, guided by Lina. He can see a small but fiercely bright object at the center of the containment room beyond the window. It's so bright that Fritz has to shield his eyes. Majestic, isn't it? Elm says, reacting to Fritz seeing the remnant for the first time. Fritz doesn't know what to say. He doesn't want to be rude to the doctor, but being this close to it gives him the chills. Whatever that thing is, Fritz's instincts are telling him to run. It's clearly not natural or of this world. There's a silence as Fritz just stares through the window. Flashes of brilliance light up the room, and several instruments beep and react. His instincts tell him two things. One, that the machinery in this room is designed to be a prison. Two, that it is reacting to his presence, almost like it's calling to him. My boy! Elm puts an arm around Fritz's shoulder. Are you sick of these wars? Are you sick of the constant rationing and power outages? I know for a fact, young man, that you're, at the very least, sick of our broken society. Fritz pulls his gaze from the remnant to look at Elm's curious expression. Yes, Fritz nods. Me too. Elm gently chuckles, placing a paw on the thick glass protecting them from the remnant's arcs of lightning. That thing there, Elm continues in a calm and fatherly tone, is going to change everything. We are going to break it apart and make it bow down to our species' natural dominance. It seems dangerous, sir, Fritz replies, unable to take his eyes off. How would you do that? Elm cracks a smile. Very, very good question. Doctor, Lina interrupts, standing just behind them both. I think we should introduce Fritz to Leia. Yes, very good. Elm, pushing his heavy-looking glasses up his nose, turns. Good idea. Come this way. We've something interesting in the back I'd like for you to see, my boy. The back of the room has several large crates and reams of supplies. It looks like someone has been living there with empty food packets strewn around the place. It's not the sort of thing you'd expect to see in a science facility. Elm stops beside what appears to be a cage. He rests his body against it and taps on the top. This is Leia, Elm explains. She's a Formador, and she's going to assist us in our endeavor to change the world for the better. Fritz approaches, and the uneasy feelings are only getting worse. Although Elm and Lina are very welcoming, his instincts are screaming out, like ringing in his ears. He has to try his hardest to shut them out. The cage is about half the size of Elm, with large, thick bars. Fritz has to bend down to look at what's inside. As he does, Fritz almost falls backwards. He's that shocked to see what's cowering inside. The terrified eyes of a young female Grimalkin are staring back at him. She looks at him, petrified, scared, and desperate for help. He's astonished at just how the young girl in the cage is. She faintly reminds him of his youngest sister, Ari, the only one of his sisters that's ever showed him any love or encouragement. Fritz tries to speak, but his throat has gone dry. His heart breaks, but in fear for his own life, he shuts it out. As Fritz stumbles back and away from the cage, he considers running for his life. However, he backs into Lina, who stands like a brick wall between him and the door.
Don't look so worried, my dear boy, Elm laughs, pushing the glasses up his nose once again. We aren't hurting young Leia here. She knows that once she's helped us with our operation, she's free to go home.
Having backed into Lina's sturdy frame, Fritz nervously tilts his head back to look up at her. He sees Lina looking down at him. Her gaze is fixed, and with her paw on the hilt of her sword, she looks like she's ready to strike him down without hesitation.
Leia is...
Elm continues, tapping the top of Leia's cage.
She's going to enhance those natural abilities of yours, Fritz. Then once you've used that wonderful portal gift of yours to help me break apart the Remnant, I will allow her to transform you into a female.
Horror gripping every inch of his body, Fritz slowly lowers his head to see the young girl frozen in fear. A snap decision is made. Trusting Elm to keep his word is the safest option, even though his instincts tell him otherwise. Leia tries her best to back away from the doctor, but she can't. She's a caged animal, scared and worried for her life. Fritz's instincts scream out for him to help her. He could use several portals at once to transport them away, but the courage to do so evades him.
This is Fritz, Elm says to Leia, tapping on the bars to get her attention. He's a very special young man. He's going to be vital in our little experiment here.
Lina places her hand firmly on Fritz's shoulder as Elm speaks. It's not like before, comforting and warm. This time she holds him with a cold and firm paw.
Ha 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 ha!
We are going to make history, Elm laughs maniacally.
The Remnant will bend and bow to my genius. All of Yibixus will rejoice to the sound of my name.